Alright, so hello everyone, hello mga students. Pagpapatuloy natin yung ating discussion sa income earners. On this video lecture, pag-uusapan naman natin yung computational side. Okay, so mga illustrations ito para higit ninyong maintindihan ano yung pinagkakaiba ng pure compensation income earners doon sa mga pure business income earners at saka yung ating mga mixed income earners. Okay, so umpisahan natin doon sa pure compensation income earners at ito ang ating example. So this is illustration number 1. Ang ating hinahanap dito ay income tax due nung ating taxpayer. Okay, so here is the question. Determine the income tax due assuming the taxable compensation income for the year is 240,000 pesos. Okay, or remember, kapag pure compensation income earner, ano ang kanyang pagbabasehan or ano yung magiging basis ng kanyang taxable income or yung kanyang tax due? This will be yung graduated tax rate. Okay? So magkano ang kanyang taxable compensation income? This is 240,000. At itong 240,000, ito yung subject doon sa computation. Pero ano ba ang sinasabi ng graduated tax rate? Okay. O ang sinasabi kasi sa train law, not over 250,000 tax exempt yan. Eh dahil etong ating example, 240,000 lang yung kanyang taxable compensation income, okay, for the year, assuming, okay, so that is why the answer here is 0. Tax exempt siya based doon sa graduated tax rate. Pag 250,000, exempt pa rin yan, 0 pa rin yan. Okay? Dito nga lang 240,000 ito. Illustration number 2 tayo. Mukhang easy lang ano. Determine the income tax due assuming, okay, this time the taxable compensation income for the year is 300,000 pesos. Pag pinuntahan na natin yung graduated tax rate, dito tayo sa pangalawang bracket. Ang over 250,000 but not over 450,000. Ano ang magiging tax basis niya? 20% in excess of 250,000. So kung halimbawa no sa ating problem 300,000 ito, ang subject sa tax ay yung excess ng 250,000. The first 250,000 being tax exempt. Kaya ang ating solution dyan ay magiging ganito. Okay? Wala yung first 250,000 pero dahil ito ay 300,000, di kunin natin yung excess, yung sobra sa 250,000. And that is 50,000 pesos. Sir, saan ang galing? 300,000 minus 250,000. So that is why that is 50,000 pesos. At yung 50,000 na yan, based doon sa ating graduated tax rate, 20% ang magiging buwis niyan. So 50,000 times 20%, that is 10,000. So ang tax due or the income tax due of that individual, yung pure compensation income earner, ay 10,000 pesos. Okay, I hope you can follow. Ito ay simpleng illustration lang ano. Hindi natin ito binibigyan muna ng mga complication. Illustration number 3 tayo. Now, what if ang kanyang taxable compensation income ay 1,850,000? Ano ang kanyang magiging income tax due? Pag pumunta tayo sa tax table, sa graduated tax rate, dito siya magfo-fall over 800,000 pero hindi tataas ng 2 milyon. So, ang kanyang magiging tax due ay 130,000 plus 30% nung income niya na sumobra sa 800,000. Magkano nga ba kasi ulit yung kanyang taxable compensation income? Sa illustration natin, that is 1,850,000. So, tanggalin muna natin yung first 800,000 kasi fixed na yan, ano? Balikan ko lang, 130,000 ang first 800,000 pesos. So, eto, And then, i-add natin yung tax on the difference or on the excess of 800,000. Eh di ba nga, 1,850,000 ito. Eh di ibawas natin yung 800,000. Ang matitira ay 1,050,000 pesos or 50,000 pesos, sorry. Multiply natin ng 30%. Lagi ninyo itong tatandaan. Ito yung ating tax table, ano, at may mga specific percentages yan. Yung mga porsyento na yan nakadepende sa bracket. O nagkataon dito sa ating example, 30% yung excess sa 800,000. So etong 1,050,000 ay subject sa 30%. And kapag kinumpute natin yan, that is 315,000 pesos. O pinag-add natin yung dalawa, that is 445,000. That is the income tax due of that pure compensation income earner. Okay, so that is the right answer. Now, we are done with giving 3 illustrations para lang mabigyan ng sample etong ating graduated tax rate. Papaano naman kung ang taxpayer ay isang pure business income earner? Or 'di ba, previously ipinaliwanag ko sa inyo yung mga self-employed and professionals. Kasi ito yung magfa-fall doon sa mga pure business income earner. Okay, so pag-usapan naman natin ito at bigyan natin ng illustration. But before that, take note of this. I-compare lang natin yung income from self-employment versus yung income from employment o yung income from compensation. Assume natin na itong nasa kaliwang side, ito yung income from self-employment. At etong nasa kanan, ito yung income from employment. At kung makikita ninyo sa ating weighing scale, mas mabigat ito na nandito sa kaliwa. Ang ating representation nito kasi in terms of taxation, mas malaki ang ibinubuwis doon sa mga self-employed. Why? Kasi alam naman natin na yung self-employed at saka yung purely compensation income earners ay sinasubject sila doon sa basic tax. Yun nga lang, kung meron kang sariling negosyo, meron ka pang tinatawag na business tax. Okay, so bukod sa subject ka sa basic tax o yung graduated tax rate, ikaw as a business is also subject doon sa business tax. Either at the 12% value added tax or the 3% percentage tax unless it is exempted expressly sa batas. Ngayon, ang business taxation, ito ay pinag-uusapan in details on a separate course. Okay? Different subject. So hindi natin ito bibigyan ng importansya. Mahalaga siya pero yung detalye nito hindi talaga natin uupuan talaga. So ang emphasis natin is dito sa income taxation. Pero for appreciation, may mga ilang illustration ako dito na kinumpute na rin natin yung business tax para lang maintindihan ninyo yung konsepto nito. Okay? Napansin niyo dito 12% value added tax. Tapos 3% percentage tax. Dito na papasok kapag bumibili kasi kayo or kayo yung nagbebenta, may mga value added tax kayong mai-encounter sa mga resibo. Okay? So, ito yung business tax na tinutukoy natin. Now, business tax is not income tax. They are different. Okay? So, papaano ngayon? Ito sa self-employed, yung mga business income earner. This one. Meron silang option. Options for self-employed and professionals. Okay? Pag sinabi kasi natin na purely self-employed and professionals or yung mini-mention ko na purely business income earners, kumikita sila, okay, from their exercise of profession or from their trade or business, pero wala silang kinikita from employment. Now, remember na yung employment, merong employer-employee relationship. So, kung ikaw ay isang sole proprietor, ikaw ay isang independent contractor, ikaw ay isang professional, dito ka magfo-fall sa self-employed and professional at yung iyong income ay magfo-fall doon sa either income from the practice of profession or doon sa trade. Okay? income from trade or business. Now, ano ang meron tayo dito? Bakit meron tayong option? O take note of this table. Ang pinaka nasa kaliwang column, makikita ninyo gross sales and or gross receipts. At meron tayong dalawa dito. Ang gross sales and or gross receipts mo ba ay hindi lalagpas ng 3 milyon? Ibig sabihin 3 milyon pababa. Yung sumunod naman na bracket, more than 3 million. Oh, what if ikaw ay nandito sa first bracket or kung andito ka sa second bracket? Pagdating sa first bracket, pag hindi ka lalagpas ng 3 million ang gross sales and or gross receipts mo, under income tax, okay, you are subject sa graduated tax rate. Samantalang, pagdating sa business tax, you are subject doon sa 3% percentage tax. Okay? Or, eto, at the option of the SEP, pwedeng ang gawin niya is, instead na i-avail niya yung graduated tax rate at saka yung 3% percentage tax, okay, he or she can avail of the 8% of gross sales or receipts and other non-operating income in excess of the 250,000 na threshold. This is in lieu of the graduated tax rate. So mamaya ipapakita ko ito sa inyo through an illustration para mas maintindihan ninyo itong table na ito. Samantalang pagdating dito sa pangalawang bracket, kung ikaw ay okay, ang sales mo or yung gross receipts mo ay lagpas ng 3 milyon, wala kang option. You are subject to income tax and also you are subject to business tax. Pagdating sa income tax, okay, graduated tax rate tayo. Ang business tax naman, subject to the 12% VAT or the value added tax. Okay, meron lang nakalagay dito, unless engaged ka sa VAT exempt sales and transactions. Pero once again, business tax, hindi natin ito uupuan, hihimay-himayin dito. Ang pinaka-emphasis natin itong income taxation. Okay? O don't worry, meron tayong illustration dyan. Now, dito sa option ng 8% of gross sales and receipts and other non-operating income in excess of the 250,000, kasi di ba merong option yung SEP. Pero for you, kung ikaw yung SEP, para ma-entitled ka dyan sa option na yan, and if you want to avail of that preferential tax rate, you have to satisfy the following conditions. Etong 5. First, yung gross sales and receipts mo dapat and other non-operating income, hindi dapat ito lalagpas doon sa threshold na 3 milyon. Otherwise, hindi na ito magiging option para sa'yo. Another one, dapat ikaw ay non-VAT registered. Meron kasi tayong mga VAT registered na mga companies at saka may mga non-VAT. So kung ikaw ay non-VAT registered, so pwede kang mag-avail dito. Pero ulitin ko lang, you have to satisfy all of these conditions. Ano pa? The gross sales receipts were not derived from VAT-exempt sales and transactions. And the SEP is not subject to percentage tax. And last, the SEP signifies his or her intention to elect the 8% income tax. So, ito yung mga kailangan nating isatisfy na conditions. Okay? So, ano na ang gagawin natin? Here is illustration number 4. Ipakita natin kung paano yung computation ng income tax due, assuming purely SEP ito at hindi lalagpas doon sa 3 milyon na threshold. So what happens if 240,000 ang iyong gross sales receipts and other non-operating income? O di ba? Doon sa ating table, di ba ito pag not over 250,000 ka, edi exempt ka. So in this case, ang income tax due mo ay 0 because that is tax exempt based on the graduated tax rate. So mag-a-apply pa rin ang tax table kahit ikaw ay isang purely SEP. Okay, for your income tax due. Okay? Next, illustration. How about this one? Determine the income tax due given the following data. Meron kang gross sales, 2,800,000, meron kang cost of sales, 1.5 million. Meron kang operating expenses, 750,000. Okay, you know the drill. 28 minus 15 minus 750. Ang net income mo ay 550,000. In this case, papaano natin kukumputin yung income tax due? Ang gross sales, ito yung magiging basis natin kung lumagpas ka ba or hindi doon sa threshold na 3 million. So, hindi siya umabot doon sa threshold. So, meron kang dalawang option. Avail of the graduated tax at saka yung business tax or avail doon sa 8% preferential rate kung qualified ka pag na-meet mo yung mga conditions. Now, ang example muna natin dito is hindi pa ina-avail yung preferential tax rate. So, papaano natin kukunin yung income tax due? Ano ang magiging basis natin? Ito bang 2,800,000 or yung 550,000? Now, remember, for in computing for the income tax due, ang taxable income natin ay itong nandito sa baba, yung net income na 550,000. And we will use the graduated tax rate. Kaya, nandito tayo sa over 400,000 but not over 800. So, meron tayong fixed na 30,000 plus 25% in excess of the 400. Eh magkano nga? 'Di ba? That is 550,000. So 550 minus 400, that is 150,000. Okay, so ito na yung ating solution. Yung first 400,000 na income, 30,000 yung fixed niyan. Yung sumobra, 150,000, 'di ba? Times 25%, the answer is 37,500. Pag inad natin ito, the answer is 67,500. Yan yung tinatawag natin na income tax due following this. Okay? Okay? This one. And of course, in reference to your tax table. Now, meron tayong note dito, Etong tax due na ito pertains only sa income tax. This column, ito lang. Pero remember, subject din siya sa business tax at bubuwisan din siya doon. Okay? Kaya dito, kung sakali lang na business tax yung papakomputin, ang magiging basis ngayon ay itong 2.8 million. I-multiply natin ng 3% kasi subject siya doon sa 3% percentage tax. Kaya dito, 2,800,000 times 3%, ang kanyang business tax ay 84. So, etong dalawa, yung 67,500 at saka etong 84,000, pag kinombine yan yung tinatawag natin na total tax expense. Yan yung expense on the income tax and the business tax nung taxpayer na yan na babayaran niya doon sa ating gobyerno through the BIR. Okay, so 151,500 ang total tax expense. Pero once again, ang emphasis natin ay etong income tax due lamang. Kasi nga, etong business tax tinatackle through a separate subject. Okay? So that is the solution for illustration number 5. How about illustration number 6? Assuming na yung example natin sa illustration number 5, the taxpayer availed of the 8% preferential tax rate under the trade law. Kapag preferential tax rate yung ginamit, okay, ano yung magmamatter? Yung 2.8 ba o yung 550,000? Now, take note of this one. At the option of the SEP, 8% of gross sales receipts and other non-operating income in excess of 250,000. So, ibig sabihin, ibawas natin doon sa 2.8 million. So, ang magiging basis natin is the gross sales receipts and other non-operating income. Nagkataon lang na walang laman wala or zero yung ating non-operating income. Kaya, based tayo dito sa gross sales. Okay? So, 2.8 million, ibawas natin yung 250,000. So, that is, kunin natin yung difference, i-multiply natin sa 8%, ang makukuha nating sagot ay 204,000. And the income tax due is 204,000 pesos. Okay, that is the preferential tax rate of 8%. Okay, so I hope you can follow. Anyway, kung kayo ay nalilito, pause the video and absorb nyo muna ito. Basahin ninyo or replay yung ating video para mas ma-appreciate ninyo kung ano yung kinukompute dito. Okay? Next, illustration number 7. What if, okay, si pure SEP ay lumagpas doon sa 3 million? Kagaya dito sa ating illustration. Ang gross sales ay naging 5 million and a corresponding change doon sa ating cost of sales and operating expenses. Dito, 1.5 million ang kanyang net income. So, walang option dito, sino? Yung ating taxpayer. For income tax purposes, subject siya sa graduated tax rate. For business tax, subject siya sa 12% value-added tax. Kasi nandito siya sa pangalawang bracket. Wala siyang option to avail of the preferential tax rate. Okay, so pag-compute natin ng income tax due, dito yun magfo-fall. Ano ang pipiliin natin? That is the 1.5 million because this is the net income. For income tax purposes, ito yung kukunin natin. Okay, for business tax, ito yung magiging basis natin na nasa taas. Kaya nga, pag nag-compute tayo, first 800,000, this is 130. Di ba 1.5 million yon? So the difference between 1.5 and 800,000, that is 700,000. Multiply natin ng 30%, the answer is 210,000. At ang total na income tax due ni taxpayer ay 340,000. Para doon sa unang 800, that is 130K, ang excess ay 210,000. Okay? Additional note, kung sakali na, okay, for purposes of appreciation, business tax yung pinag-uusapan, 5 million times 12% na ito. Kasi lumagpas na siya doon sa 3 million na threshold. So, ang kanyang business tax ay 600,000. At consequently, yung total tax expense natin ay si 340 plus si 600. The answer is 940,000 pesos. Okay? So that's how we deal with purely business income earners or yung pure SEP. Okay? Now, last item, mixed income earners. Paano kung halo? Syempre kung halo, di pagsasamahin natin. Pero take note lang kasi baka ma-confuse na kayo dahil may mga additional items ito na kailangang i-consider. Kinuha ko yung doon sa ating tawag dito sa pure SEP. Tapos meron akong mga nilagay dito na nakakulay red font para doon sa changes applicable para sa mga mixed income earners. Let's say for example, not more than 3 million. Doon sa pure SEP, subject sa graduated tax rate, tapos 3% percentage tax. Pero kung ikaw ay isang mixed income earner, not more than 3 million, pero hindi natin isasama yung compensation income. Ibig sabihin, yun lamang po na based on sa yung gross sales or gross receipts natin and other non-operating income. Okay? For income tax, ito ang magiging basis. Graduated tax rate on compensation income and income from self-employment. Parehas po. Kasi remember, pag ikaw ay isang self-employed and professional, di ba, subject ka pa rin sa income tax at ginagamit natin yung graduated tax rate. On the same manner, kung ikaw ay isang pure compensation income earner, subject ka din sa graduated tax rate. Kaya, in-emphasize ko, okay, and compensation and income and yung income from self-employment. Parehas. Subject doon sa graduated tax rate. Okay? Yun nga lang, you have to check. Ikaw ba ay not more than 3 million excluding yung compensation income? Sa business income, 3% on percentage tax. Pero on income derived from self-employment only. Now, bakit kailangan natin itong i-emphasize? Kasi baka malito kayo kasi dalawa yung source of income. Yung income from compensation, meron ka pang income from self-employment. Ito option. Available pa rin itong option na ito doon sa ating self-employed and professional and at the same time mixed income earners. Yun nga lang, ito for the compensation income, subject yan sa graduated tax rate. Ang subject lang doon sa option na 8% ay yung coming only from the self-employment. Income from self-employment. Ulitin ko lang yung compensation income subject sa graduated tax rate. Pero yung income from self-employment, yun yung pwedeng gamitin para i-compute yung preferential tax rate na 8%. Pero, additional item, without deducting 250,000. Doon kasi sa pure SEP, binabawas natin yung 250,000. Pero dito sa mixed income, without. So, isinasama natin yan. So, kung ang iyong gross sales and or receipts and other non-operating income ay 2.5 million, hindi natin ibabawas yung 250,000. So, yung 2.5 times 8% agad yan. Okay? O, pero kung ikaw ay more than 3 million, o subject ka sa graduated tax rate and the 12% value added tax. Parehas lang doon sa nauna. Pero highlight lang din natin para ma-emphasize both the compensation income and income from self-employment. O, pero ito lagi nating tatandaan, ano ang threshold, ano yung basis. Ito yung gross sales and or receipts lang. So that here, tignan natin sa illustration number 8. O, i-determine natin ang income tax due nitong mixed earner assuming hindi lalagpas ng 3 million threshold ang kanyang yung kanyang mga gross sales. Okay? O makikita ninyo dito halo na. Meron siyang compensation income 900,000. Meron siyang gross sales 2.8. So ito important 2.8 million. Siyempre bawas yung mga cost of sales and yung operating expenses, makukuha natin yung net income. But of course, etong net income na ito kasama na sa equation yung ating compensation income. O, saan siya magfo-fall? Sa bracket ba ng less than 3 million or more than 3 million? Kasi ulitin ko lang, excluding the compensation income, so ang titignan lang natin dito is yung gross sales. Okay? Kasi wala namang other non-operating income. So 2.8, doon siya sa below the 3 million threshold. Baka lang malito kayo, i-add ninyo itong 900,000, nandoon ka na sa above 3 million. But then again, this is compensation income. Hindi po natin yan sinasama. Okay, so papaano na? O, kung hindi natin i-avail yung preferential tax rate at income tax due yung pinag-uusapan natin, so nandito tayo magfo-fall. Ano ang basis natin? Etong nandito sa baba, yung net income na 1.45 million. Kasi income tax due ang ating kinukompute. Okay? So, ito yung ating solution. First, 800,000, 130,000 ang ating tax dyan. In excess of that, subject sa 30%. So, 650,000. Diba? 1.45 million minus 800,000. The answer is 650,000. Multiply natin ng 30%, that is 195,000. Pag-adin natin itong dalawa, 130 plus 195, the answer is 325,000. That is the income tax due. Okay? Oh, for reference na rin, kung business tax yung pinag-uusapan, dahil nandoon siya sa below 3 million, subject yan sa 3% na percentage tax. So yung kanyang 2.8 million, remember ito lang, gross sales, hindi kasama yung compensation income kagaya ng sinasabi dito on income derived from self-employment only. So 2.8 times 3%, the answer is 84,000 kung business tax yung pinag-uusapan natin. For total tax expense, i-combine lang natin itong 325 na income tax due plus yung 84,000 na business tax, yung total tax expense is 409,000 pesos. Okay? So I hope you can follow. Maybe mabilis ako. Siguro sa iba mabagal pa, depende naman tayo ng learning. Okay? So tayo yung mag-adjust. Adjust na lang kayo sa pagpo-post ng video kung kinakailangan. Now, if you have any questions, please comment down below or ask me through my other means of communication to you. Illustration number 9 tayo, and assuming i-avail natin yung preferential tax rate, paano yung gagawin natin? So kung i-avail yung preferential tax rate, di ba yung unang kailangan ninyong tandaan dyan, ang compensation income subject sa graduated tax rate. Tapos pagdating doon sa income from self-employment without deducting the 250,000. Ito yun Kaya for income tax, for the compensation income side dahil yan ay 900,000 ang iyong compensation income, so dito siya magfo-fall sa bracket na ito. O, compute natin. First, 800,000, fixed na 130,000. Yung in excess, that is 100,000 kasi nga 900,000 yung compensation income mo. Okay, so ang difference is 100K. Multiply natin ng 30%, the answer is 30,000 pesos. Ang sagot natin ay 160,000 on the tax on compensation income pa lang. Okay? Yun pa lang. Tax on the compensation. Dahil preferential tax rate avail of the 8%, pagdating sa business tax, edi 2.8 million times 8% without deducting the 250,000. So that answer is 224,000. Kaya ang total tax due niya ay 384,000. O, ulitin ko lang, for income tax purposes, ito lang yung relevant sa atin, etong 160,000. Pero ang babayaran kasi talaga ng taxpayer ay yung combined na compensation income and business income, applicable taxes. Okay? That is why it is 384,000 pesos. Okay? So I hope once again you can follow. Oh, mabilis tayo, Nandito na tayo sa illustration number 10. Ang ating illustration dito, what happens if you exceed the 3 million threshold? Ang gross sales natin dito, 5 million. So basically, ang gross sales, cost of sales, and operating expenses lang yung binago natin para ma-meet natin yung exceeding the 3 million threshold. For income tax purposes, ito yung relevant na 2.4. For business tax purposes, etong gross sales ang mahalaga. Okay? Kagaya dito, ang graduated tax rate natin, ang ifa-follow natin ay nandito sa baba. Over 2 million but not over 8 million. Kasi nga, that is 2.4. Ito yung magiging basis of computation ng tax due. So that, meron kang fixed na 490,000, in excess of that, subject ka sa 32%. Paano? Ito ang ating solution dyan. Ang first 2 million, 490,000. Sumobra, okay? In excess of 2 million, magkano yon? In excess of 2 million, okay? Sorry parang meron yata tayong mali dito. And this is only 400,000. Kasi dito nakalagay 2.4. Anyway, I will edit it na lang. Pero clarify ko lang, this is 400,000 times 32%. That is not 2.4 million. Kasi in excess of the 2 million. So 400,000, pa-verify na lang din, times 32%, the answer should be 128,000. Ang income tax due natin ay 618. Ang combination nitong dalawa. Okay? For the sake of business tax, 5 million times 12% because this is now subject doon sa kanyang 12% value-added tax. Okay? So, that is the differences. And I hope you can follow me, para mas naliwanagan na kayo. Or siguro sa iba, mas nalabuan tuloy. Pero that is the reality of taxation. Marami tayong kailangang i-appreciate sa computation and their differences. Okay? So maraming salamat sa inyong time sa ngayon and I hope nakatulong itong aking video lecture on the illustration on the computation side nitong ating income earners and their differences. So hanggang sa muli. Bye-bye.